All right, I know I'm kind of late to this party, but I watched the Wheel of Time show. I watched it as it came out. It is good. I like the show. A lot of the set design is immaculate. I think especially the Two Rivers just has this real earthy, kind of real feeling to it that I think, I don't think it looks as good as the Shire, but it is a show, first of all. And second of all, it's like, it's not as much fantasy. It's just kind of a village. And I think it fits exactly what I thought of. The White Tower is well realized. It's pretty. Faldara, similarly, it just has a real feel to it. If it doesn't totally feel like a shitty set or whatever, It doesn't feel artificial. The costume design, similarly, has this real gross, dirty feel to it. Like Rand and Matt's clothes have this grungy, fucking sort of dirty look to it, and the Knave has the stout Two Rivers wool, which is classic. The score, slapadelic, All Nighto, fucking, it's just fucking good. It's got that fucking hype fantasy feel to it. It's got this grandiose sense, which obviously Wheel of Time needs because it's like the largest scale fantasy ever. The acting as a whole is really great, of course. Rosamund Pike, obviously, very good. Also, not related, she is Mummy. Seeing Moiraine on screen is ultra fucking mega neuron activation, if you get me. My cat is sitting right next to the camera. He is very at risk of knocking my phone over. I think Rand is really good too. I think that he's kind of a new representation of this character. No. Frasier. Come here, buddy. Oh. This is Frasier. He's a little bastard. Mwah. Rand is kind of this new interpretation of the character rather than just a like simple farm boy. Is kind of aged and matured. He's not like, oh, Mommy Moiraine, I'm frightened. He's kind of adult and he's a butthead more. He's more stubborn as an ox, or whatever they say in the books. Honestly, a lot of the casting is like totally on point. Pretty much all of the characters look exactly as I imagined them, with new spins. Side note, that might, be a little too serious, but if you are one of those fans that think this show is over diverse, congratulations, because you have just exposed yourself. Just listen to that phrase, over diverse, okay? What would make it better for you? One less black person, a sloughing off of 3 women, a little extra sprinkle of white. I mean, bro, both of the main characters are still white people. Maybe it's not lore accurate in some areas, but there can literally be a million explanations for why that's the case. Choose one and make it your headcanon, okay? Have some creativity, because the writers sure as shit aren't gonna fucking bother giving an explanation to placate you freaks. There's no reason to in-lore do it. Just if you really care that much, make up a headcanon, okay? Melting pot. Whole Randland is one big melting pot. Who gives a shit? There can be explanations that you can interpret it as. It doesn't have to be fucking book accurate and like, why isn't there white people? It's like, of course there's mostly white people in European fantasy. It's European fantasy. If it was all accurate, literally every fantasy would only have white people, except for like if they go to fucking the mystical East, or it's like, anyway, you get it. Hey, it's shitty microphone selfie face cam Ricky. I just thought I should add here that I know that Wheel of Time is a specifically very culturally diverse series in that people do look a certain way in certain kingdoms in this world. It's not like Lord of the Rings where every place is just, it's a white person. It's just Lord of the Rings is just big-ass Europe. Middle-earth is just fucking giant Europe. My point is that people are mad that races were changed, right? Not just that they're there in the first place. They're mad that, like, but Perrin was fucking white. I just don't think it matters at all. That's it. Okay, on to real problems I have with the show. While I think the set designs are well detailed, they're too clean. I've noticed a similar problem with the Witcher show and now the Lord of the Rings Rings of Power show. Even though the sets are well crafted with so much detail, how clean they are makes them feel kind of artificial at times. Faldara and the White Tower are the most obvious offenders. You look at a surface and it's like spotless. And I get that like the White Tower especially would be super clean. They have novices to clean it all the time, yada, yada, yada. But the Game of Thrones show, the Red Keep feels like dark and it feels dirty, even though it's like definitionally way cleaner than everywhere else, it's still a medieval setting, and I think that some dust and dirt would go a long way. There's no vacuums here. I guess there's magic, and you get it. I feel it needs more dirt to feel a little bit more realistic and less artificial. So I said the acting was really good, and it is, but often I don't think the script fully supports that. You know, I don't think it totally supports the actors as they're acting. Sometimes it feels like conflicts like come out of nowhere, or the writing really wants to make me feel a certain way about a certain thing, but it's happening way too fast for me to be invested. Like the funeral scene with Lan, I just wasn't feeling that, or Moiraine saying goodbye to Suon in that episode. I liked where they were going with their relationship, but it just kind of is introduced and split apart in that same episode, and there's so much drama with the farewell, and I just don't really think that was earned. I was like, okay, like, we don't know them that well. They can have like a whole freaking billion lines calling back to the start of the episode, but it's still one episode. It's not calling back to 2 seasons prior, you know, it's just, it doesn't feel earned yet. I just feel like they rushed into these emotionally deep scenes so fast that we didn't get to know all the people involved, you know? So it's like, why should I give a flying, fig? You know, I don't really care. Finally, the show deviates a lot from the source material. I understand why. You know, they're developing a show. I get that they have to rearrange certain things to make it tell a better story for viewers rather than readers. I don't even mind a lot of the changes. Like, they don't go to Tar Valon until book 2. Rand doesn't even go there until fucking book 13 or whatever. Yet they're going here in the 4th episode, 5th episode. And it's like, wow. You know, but I got why they did that. I got that, like, having 2 completely different big cities in one season might have been muddled, might have been whatever. What I especially mind, though, what really bugs me are the additions. This is a 14-book series. Look how many fucking books there are. We do not need new plots. At all. Ever. I don't think there is ever a reason to add new characters. I cannot think of a single reason to do so, and the reason they do so in this is not right. I do not think it's worth it. I think it makes it feel like a waste of time. Like, I get what the plot line with Stefan, I don't even remember his fucking name. I get why his plot matters. It shows the bond between Aes Sedai and Warders and how it affects, like, you know, the relationship and how severing their bond fucks them up. But that is shown infinite ways in the books. So many ways this is presented in a more organic, fast, like brisk, emotionally enthralling way. Why did we need a new plot? A brand new set of characters to show it? We did not. They already presented it somewhat with Moiraine and Lan. They did not have to have a whole B plot dedicated to it. They did not, okay? Even if they couldn't find the chance to do it this season with a warder dying, they could have done it later. Like, there's so much lore and shit already here in the season. They did not need to go to that length here. Okay, but here's my biggest problem. Here's my real issue, okay? I was with it. I was a big defender until this, okay? And I still like the show, don't get me wrong, but this is inexcusable for me. This is big spoilers for the end of the first season and the end of the first book, so be wary about that. Rant, my boy, what did they do to you? I understand why they kind of wanted to hide the fact that he was the main character and he was the dragon reborn, which they failed at, I think. Every single person I knew that watched the show and hadn't read the books was like, that's Rant. Obviously, it's Rand. He has nothing going for him while everybody else has a little weird little quirk. It has to be Rand. Either way, why did they have to power him down? Why would they take what makes this character sick, what makes this world dope, and, like, throw it to the side? Like, we'll save this for later. Like, do not save it for later. At the end of the book, Rand literally, like, becomes a fucking god for a few seconds. He destroys 2 fucking ancient evil sorcerers that are some of the most powerful beings in the world. He teleports away and obliterates a whole fucking army, right? What's he do in the show? He spurts out a little magic. He fucking prees out a little magic, breaks a plate. That's about it. That's all he does. And it's like, can you imagine reading the first book and having it end like that? No. I read the first book. It was slow. It had good world building. I liked the characters, but I was like, how is this going to end? How this ending is going to decide whether I want to fucking make this investment, okay? And it sold me. I was like, holy fuck! Like, this is how big the power scale is. But then imagine if it ended with him like throwing a little fucking lightning bolt and a plate, like dropping a big piece of china on the ground. I would be like, okay, well, I'm done. I'm not going to spend 9 months reading this. The best part of the entire series is grand scale power, is seeing Rand do crazy shit your main character do, like shit that fucking Frodo or Luke Skywalker could dream of. It's shit that's like world shattering scale. This is the chance the show creators had to sell us on the show, just like Robert Jordan did with the books. He was like, this is it. This is what makes my book unique. This is what's going to sell people. This whole season, I had been anticipating Rand's big blast. But instead, he lays a little fart, a little shit, and then it ends. And it's like, wow. My friends who hadn't read the books liked it, and that, that's a good sign. That means that it did sell them, and it sold me because I'm gonna watch it anyway. But I think it was a bad choice. Think about the absolute worst book adaptations, right? Artemis Fowl, the Hobbit movies, Percy Jackson and the Olympians. What do they all have in common? They fucking sprint away from the source material like it's the bubonic plague, right? They do not want anything to do with it. Now think of the best: Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, the new Dune movie. These all stick real fucking closely to the material. There's changes, yeah, but for the most part, they're super faithful, and they get the main important plot and character beats across. That's because the creators respected the author's vision, and they understood that the authors knew what the fuck they were doing. They wrote this beloved series. They know what they're doing, okay? Ultimate example. Look at Game of Thrones. Season 1 through 4. Literally the best book adaptation ever. In my opinion, the best show of all time. Then Season 5 hits, when these two fucking morons cut the Young Griff plot. They ruined the Dornish politics. They had Littlefinger sell Sansa to Ramsay for literally just no fucking reason. Unbelievable. All of a sudden, it's on its way to becoming one of the most notoriously terrible adaptations and endings in TV fucking history. I mean, that is a whole video on its own. In my opinion, and I'm not a show creator, but, I'm a stupid YouTuber and indie author. But in my opinion, it is not the place of the show creator and adapter to change shit to meet their vision. It is not their vision. It is not their property. It is the author's property. They knew what they were doing when they created the series. They had the plot beats in mind. They created it for a purpose, and fans like it for that reason. Your job is to make that into a show. Not to make it into your vision and your changes at what would make the story better. That is not your decision. That would be the author's decision if he was still around. Your decision is how to faithfully make this book into a show that fans will like for the same reason as the books. I still think this is a decent show. I would give it like a 6.0. That's, with 5 as the average, 6.0. It was good. It was entertaining. I liked seeing the characters on screen. It just fucks some shit up. These peeps just need to be real careful. They should take some of the criticisms to heart, ignoring the blatant racists, obviously. And I know how hard it can be to sift through shit and shitty, salty criticisms, but that I don't think they should see the obnoxious fans and just ignore the actual criticisms of real book fans who want to see it a certain way because they love the story for that reason. I truthfully believe that a lot of the book fans know the series way, way better than the show creators. So I think they should listen to how they feel about it. And also listen to the new viewers who are like, oh, it's boring. Oh, I didn't feel like the characters, blah, 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 whatever. You do not want to end up like these two fucking talentless, pathetic shells of human beings, okay? I do not want to see that happen because I think they care. But these two fucking idiots don't, okay? And I hate them. And they are notorious for being the worst scum in the TV space.